branch near you and speak to our dedicated staff about the amazing Yatisubio loans today. You can also call 0302-214-314 for more details.
Oh, Joe, it's 3 a.m. What now?
Yatisubium. Okay, bye. Societe Generale Ghana. The future is you.
Are you a JHS student in Ghana? Are you a wordsmith with a passion for development? Do you have a way with words?
Wonderful people celebrating their birthdays today. Others are celebrating their partners. Good morning, Citi CBS. Please kindly help me celebrate and wish my wife, Celestine Hera Babanao, a happy birthday. She's a woman of substance and an epitome of God's love. I pray that the Lord blesses her and makes her fruitful in all her deeds. The love is very big. This is from the family Enoch and Essen. Okay, happy birthday to my wife, Nana Amwaku Ababio. May God continue to bless you every day of your life. From Patrick and your daughter, Nyameya. Happy birthday to Michael Mensah of Farm Life. Oh, boss. Big man. Michael Mensah, the Lord bless and keep you throughout the year and beyond. May you flourish like a palm and grow like a cedar in Lebanon. Wishing you good health and longevity. This is from Uncle Ben McCarthy Hill.
Yes, okay. Let me say good morning and belated happy birthday to Edem Nutako. Edem, it's actually today is his birthday. Actually, the name is Edem Nutako. Okay. It's coming in from Awenam, and she's wishing you all the very best in the years, decades ahead of you. She believes that you are a fine human being impacting lives in many ways, and she wants the very best of you to continue to shine through the lives of many people.
Wonderful.
So keep shining. Edem, Togbi Edem.
The way you're in your Jalabia this morning, have you had some meat over the weekend?
Did
Sana deliver.
Sana no perform.
No performance.
Oh, Sana no perform. Sana go there as I'm sure. You know, every time he's in Asuchari, meanwhile we too we did a crime.
How to is in Maka?
It be we will install her for you. How much Japago Mecca?
Yeah, she's firing reports from Maka.
Allah.
Yeah,
so yeah, Chale, belated Father's Day to everyone who is playing a father figure role in one way or the other, and who is a father, and who is a responsible father. I celebrate all of you. We celebrate all of you. You guys make the world a better place. A good father is a solution to society in many ways. But a dangerous one is a danger to himself and society.
No, the good ones outnumber the bad ones.
No.
So let's not give the bad ones,
no. I mean, it's the same way with the mothers.
And the sign of the good ones.
It's the same way with the mothers. There are some who are bad.
We don't hear those bad ones on Mother's Day.
Some people just, for some reason, people don't talk about it.
Exactly.
But the truth is that it goes both ways, So yes, we celebrate all of them. There are women who are playing father figure roles for many of their kids. The same way there are men who are playing mother figure role for many of their kids. So we celebrate all of you. And then Salah was yesterday. Yes. Umaru Sanda did not perform as I stated. But I celebrate all my Muslim brothers and sisters for everything they continue to do in my life and in our life. They listen to us and they send us their views and all the things they say. So belated Barka de Salah people.
Now, one way you can celebrate your father, celebrate him well, is to give him an experience of a lifetime. Let him go to Singapore and Malaysia to enjoy these two Asian giants. Yeah, and you don't need to stress about that at all. The Global Wings Travel and Tours is organizing a wonderful trip of a lifetime, taking you on a whirlwind tour of Malaysia and Singapore. You visit our most breathtaking attractions from September the 9th to the 18th, 2024. You will experience the thrill of Kuala Lumpur with our captivating city tour. You will visit the Petronas Twin Tower, soar above the city on the Genting Highland Skyway cable ride. My God. Then you venture into Singapore for an unforgettable trip to Sentosa Island and a full city tour where you marvel at the gardens by the bay. Every expense, 4-star accommodation, visa facilitation, return tickets, travel insurance, all taxes, airport transfers, everything is included in this package. So don't miss this incredible opportunity. Global Wings Travel and Tour is offering bookers, callers, WhatsApp us 0553 688 398, 0550-188-181. Follow us on social media, Global Wings Travel GH. Pack your bags, let's go. Global Wings will whisk you away on a journey of a lifetime. Now let me tell you about the Purple Experience. Join us to explore the future of banking, which comes with the First Atlantic Bank Digital Bank of the Year. There are awesome digital banking platforms. The First Atlantic Bank gives you a new digital world experience. Download the First Atlantic Bank mobile app from the Google Play Store or dial *442# for your bank transactions. Also available are the First Bank mobile app from the Google Play Store or dial *442#. Yes. So also available are the First Atlantic Bank Internet Banking, Corporate Pay, DigiPay, Master and Visa cards, all for your banking needs. It is safe, secure, and very simple to operate. First Atlantic Bank, refreshingly different.
All right, now as a business, you are exploring innovative ways to maximize your operations and foster growth in today's dynamic environment. We know that no great story was ever written alone, and with a little help from the APSA Supplier Finance Program, you can pay your suppliers early so that you pay later. You can extend your payment terms without compromising your supplier relationships. Visit apsa.com.gh or speak with your relationship manager today to find out more on the APSA Supplier Finance Program. T's and C's apply. Your story matters. APSA. Now, you want a place to live that is great, that is wonderful, that is serene, and that will set your mind at ease. Def Traco Woodlands is that place. It's a master plan gated community in Dowinya, just a minute drive from Central University. It covers an area of 592 acres, and they are giving you great value. And each land or each piece of land that you purchase will come with a free architectural plan and bill of quantities. It's well laid out. You get all the amenities you can think of. Call 020-8732-302 or visit woodlands.deftracogroup.com to find out more. We all need water to quench our thirst and to help us run our bodies very, very well. Stay hydrated with standard water. Call 0202055703 or 0547334385. Standard water. Now, in terms of international trade, if you are an importer or exporter or you are involved in that space in any shape or form, the Bank of Africa is here to provide the needed support to make your cross-border trade transactions seamless. Call 0302-429-333 or 0302-249-690 or visit any of their branches nationwide and do business with them. They've got tailor-made trade finance solutions, either warehouse financing, discounting of receivables, and all other things related to international trade. The Bank of Africa is a bank, or the bank with global reach. Bank of Africa, as strong as a group, as close as a partner.
Let me say a special good morning to Stephanie McCarthy Hill. Everyone in McCarthy Hill knows Stephanie. Stephanie called, yes. No, Stephanie is fine. That's the code. Stephanie McCarthy Hill. Yeah. She's the Queen Mother of McCarthy Hill. Unofficial Queen Mother. She called me last Friday to say that, listen, I missed the Agri-business forum at Alisa and I really, really want the audio. So she's been pestering me to get her the audio. Later when we do the Agri-business forum, we play that on TV for people who couldn't make it to get to tune in and also participate and enjoy. But it usually takes some time putting all together, editing and all that. Agribusiness, our conversation was understanding the agribusiness value chain, opportunities for additional revenue. And the speakers were Mr. Kwesi Koboy, he's the CEO of Gesol, and then Dr. Amos Rutherford Azinu, Legacy Crop Improvement Center founder. Salam Agudu is the Urban Jungle Agro Chief Farmer. And then, of course, you had Daniel Fahine Akwe, Group CEO of Agri Impact Limited. as today is a holiday, many of you are home, you're not going around, there's not so much busyness around. We'll bring you some highlights of these conversations so that you can soak it in, and a bit later we'll play them on TV as well for you to enjoy. You know, June is a month of business for us. It's the Citi Business Festival. We're bringing you Agri-business. This week we'll focus on AI side of things. We'll look at art and AI, the business of arts, actually. The business of arts. We have a wonderful conversation coming up quickly with Dr. Bernard Akoy Jackson. He's a lecturer at the Department of Fine Art and Curatorial Studies, KNUST. So the business of art. Okay, so we are doing the business of art.
It's arts.
Yes, the business of
artworks.
art. Yes, art, fine arts.
Graphic design.
So we did the
painting.
AI the first week, but this time, today we are looking at the business of
Poetry
art.
and
It's
all
part
of
of our on-air series. So look out for it shortly.
Which are the leading, museums in Accra for featuring, artworks and all of that? I know Abladi Glover used to be a...
Yeah, they have
so
a
strongly,
place.
but
I don't know whether there's one at Circle.
there's one at Circle.
Yeah, I don't know whether that gallery still functions.
Okay, so when you go past the
gallery,
GCB,
That's the
when you're going to Holy Hill,
Yeah.
is it ever opened?
I can't tell. There was, I know there was another place, the Loom.
The Loom.
You mentioned Professor Abladi Glover's gallery.
Solid.
I went there way back as a boy. My dad took me there. I think I'm not too sure. Maybe the artist can let us know.
You know, if you're going towards the La Palm Royal Beach, there used to be one gallery there. But
Yes.
I don't know whether
I think
it's still functional.
it's running. I remember because the paint is quite unique.
Yes, very, very unique.
Yeah,
Yes.
and then there's the Ghana Museums and Monuments Board.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was renovated recently and open to the public, and it looks good. I've not been there in a while, but that when we talk about arts and all,
Yeah.
the Ghana Museums and Monuments Board, that building, it's one of the prominent places I can think of in Accra. Where else?
The only other places you go to some of these hotels, and then you have these, emerging
Murals and
they do it, and then they put a price
portraits
tag.
and all. Yes,
Exactly.
Yes.
I went to the museum where Nkrumah's old cars are until they move them to.
Yeah,
they move
is
some
it
of them
what's on the
just behind the
Nats Hall?
Yeah, that's right.
That's the Ghana Museums and Monuments Board.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have also some really great painting works over there, and the only difficulty is that we don't seem to have a truly powerful strategy to push Ghanaian paintings the way we should be pushing them. Of course, I mean the emergence of digital platforms for selling these artworks really is one thing we should also explore, because you see something truly funny and you think that it doesn't sell for much, but you go on the international market.
You're right.
In some cases they are fetching $1 million
You're right.
and $10 million, $20 million.
Yeah.
So that's also another way of truly earning some huge forex for the country. But we don't seem to be pushing this much. So it is really, really, really timely that Citi FM and Channel 1 Television working together, trying to push this particular space. That's a space I'm interested in, except that I've not painted in a while.
You paint?
Yeah. I used to do a lot of painting, but I've forfeited all of that for journalism and the law. I guess when I eventually set up my own studio, I envision a space where people can come and paint.
That's a nice one.
Yeah,
that's
then
a
you
nice
have a
one.
good
It
time.
reminds me of Ibrahim Mohammed's Red Clay Studio in Tamale. I don't know if you've been there.
No, I've not
Sky,
been there.
you need to be there. You know, the whole art thing, he makes it go beyond painting and sculpturing to gathering artifacts and pieces of our history. Yeah. And when you go there, it's an amazing stuff he does. Yeah, so he has the Parliament of Ghosts, where, how do I even explain this to you, Sky? You need to see it. He has assembled old airplanes on his compound. And he's put them together because a lot of kids in Tamale and villages in the north
want to go and see.
They've never seen planes before. So the only time they'll get to see a plane is when they get there. You know, the only time they get to see a plane is when it's at the vanishing points flying out. And some of these people, their parents do not even have televisions to start with. So you can't even imagine an airplane. And he himself takes his buses to these villages, brings the children to the Red Clay studio, and then they are taught coding and digital literacy in the airplanes.
That's
so that in their imaginations, he's breaking this imagination, knowledge poverty. So that they can get to know what is possible.
That's deep and truly unique a model.
I tell you, he's even assembled trains, old trains, because you know our railway line never got to the north. So he bought a number of these locomotives and old trains, even the tracks. He's fixed them in this place, and then he's put them. I'm just remembering all this because you say that you envision having a studio one day where you will have all these things. And
you know, I mean, attaining inner peace, right, often involves sitting down in your quiet time, reflecting over nature, and replicating what you're seeing on a canvas. You can do it with not respecting the laws of the game. I mean, the whole essence of being an artist is to express yourself in the way you possibly can. So while you may have some people using the color blue to represent something, you can decide to go whichever way you want to go and express yourself the way you want to do it. And there are people who appreciate that. So somebody will look at it and say, what is this? You have wasted my time. But someone will fly in from, say, South Africa, Nigeria, and come and pay $1 billion for that and go and put that in his...
I tell you, you know, the still on this Red Clay thing, if you go there is this huge installation of you know the box that the shoe shine
that's right shoe shine boys.
So he's gathered a lot of it together, and it's like a mountain of shoe shine boxes, and he won $1 million for that art. He calls it the non-orientable in cancer.
You mean he won $1 million?
Yes. Just putting together all these things. Yes. And very recently, there was another exhibition they did in the UK where they called it Purple Hibiscus. It was a very important building in the UK, where so they got a lot of people in the north, the women in particular, to sew a lot of their smock in purple colors, and they sort of decorated the entire building with the smock. And then he will tell you the history behind the collection of the smog, this and that and that. Very interesting stuff, and he's raking in a lot. And I can tell you that a lot of tourists, when they go to Tamale today, want to go see the Red Clay studio. Unfortunately, the road that leads to the Red Clay studio is terrible.
See, that's
it's
one
terrible.
That's one disincentive. And you see, when you have someone, a young man with such deep mind, putting the nation on the map, the best we can do is to support him with some of the things that would help
basic amenities.
Exactly. So why don't you make sure that the road to that place is in solid shape, so that, you know, tourists coming into this country, and of course, I mean, we ourselves who want to travel to the north and appreciate some of these things would have an easier way of getting to this place without the hassle that comes with traveling around the country. I mean, that is one way of encouraging people to move. If the roads are in terrible condition, no matter how fine the studio may be, no matter how fine the gallery may be, people are discouraged from coming. So the politicians who are in charge of these spaces, they have to ensure that they find the resources or they find the means. If they have to cooperate with private sector, they should do that and make sure that these roads are in top condition, because tourism is what is turning some other countries' fortunes around. And what you are talking about, the investment, I would have to go there at some point. But the kind of investment and how it is, the story is told on the likes of CNN, BBC, on these international... GW. Yeah, it tells you that there's something really great happening. You know, so there has got to be that support.
The sad part is that when they hold exhibitions in other countries, because he's been traveling a lot, Spain, Portugal, UK, US, Dubai, UAE. I mean, a lot of the times when the countries where his art is appreciated, when they help him put up exhibitions, when they invite the Ghanaian ambassadors and commissioners to those places, they don't show up. They don't show up. And they don't show up.
No, it's unfortunate. Maybe they do not appreciate, artworks.
Look at the investment the young man has put in there. And for starters, they connected water to the Red Clay studio. Even the electricity is connected to that entire neighborhood by this young man. And guess what? The taps don't run. And when I talk about the road leading to the Red Clay studio, the road is good to a point where there is a very, very fancy building in the village on the right. After that point, all the way to the Red Clay studio, the road is terrible. And if they tell you who the road, the house on the right belongs to, you will know that we are messed up. Because the tourists don't go to the house.
No, they're not
People
going there.
are flying all over the world, coming here, going to the north to see the Red Clay studio, but the road that leads to that place is not good. Water doesn't flow. How does that work?
That's unfortunate. That's truly unfortunate. Especially as we know, you see, the Kwame Nkrumah Museum, right? Yeah. Refurbishing it with some $3 million or so of World Bank money. Yeah. And what it is earning as now.
In a month.
That should be an eye-opener as to what the true potential of these historic sites can be. And I do realize that the Akwesi, Ajiman, and related, officers within the space are doing their part. The new minister, what's his name, from Sekunde, and Japamesa is also doing his part. At least he's coming with some energy. But we need more than just the big talk. Yeah. We need to see real action to convert these two, historic sites into money-making machines. Because if we keep talking about, the CD is not performing well, there are the low-hanging fruits that we can jump on.
That's unique to us.
We have the Ghanaian brand already out there. Our name invokes all kinds of nostalgia, passion. People just want to identify with the brand Ghana. Now, how to turn that into real money-making ventures is what is our problem. And I honestly think, and when you listen to all the politicians talking about what they will do when they come, you hear very fanciful ideas, highfalutin ideas, and sometimes very mundane things they say they want to do to turn the economic fortunes of this country around. What they are forgetting, what I am not hearing, is what they intend to do with the space of fine arts, what they intend to do with tourism, what they intend to do with our stories, our history, how they can move that to the next level and make it a game changer. We are not hearing that. We'll do fishermen this, the trotro people will do this for them.
We'll reduce the cost of Hajj.
Charlie, and look, you go online and you see how people are making so much money through digital arts. You will be amazed. So much money on digital arts. They sit behind a computer, key in a few prompts, and something truly beautiful is generated, and it is unique. You cannot reproduce that with any other. You can use the same, prompt, but it will generate something
different.
Exactly, and people are making so much money from that. If we are really serious, and if we really want to catch up with the rest of the world, I think these are spaces we need to be looking at. And it is great that Citi Television, Channel 1 Television and Citi FM are doing this great, providing the platform for a conversation.
I like where this is going. When we went to Anyako,
yes,
we mentioned some greats who hail from Anyako. We mentioned a former IGP, Hale, and a number of other people. Have you heard the name El Anatri?
El Anatri, yes, is a name I remember faintly.
El Anatri was named amongst 100 most influential people in 2023 by Time. Right?
The Time magazine.
Yes. And he's an artist.
Whoa.
His arts have raked in millions, and he's won so many awards and recognitions all over the place. Prince Claude Award and several. I can let me just give you this to read with the people so they understand the El Anatri conversation.
That's right. So I'm looking at it, El Anatri. This was published. Okay, so it says that the 100 most influential people of 2023.
Yes.
El Anachi. It's looks like a giant man wearing glasses and with grey hair.
Oh yes.
And standing behind what appears to be a mural of some kind, or
Yeah.
maybe a painting. No, I think this some. It's I don't know whether it's difficult. Bernard, can you identify what this is? It's not a painting. It seems to be some they brought together.
Sculpture or something. Sculpture.
This is not sculpture.
It's funny. I actually bought a book this weekend.
Okay.
Which had 60 of Ghana's greatest artists
on it.
It's a work Dr. Bernard Jackson co-authored with a colleague, and El Anachi is one of the artists. We have some really great artists, and they actually working on a volume 2.
Wow!
So these are globally recognized artists, most of whom ordinary Ghanaians have no idea.
Yeah.
But El Anachi is one of our best.
Yeah. So the Time magazine says that El Anachi is one of the most impactful artists of our time. As a sculptor, he shows an incomparable capacity to experiment with his materials, medium and process. El collects diverse materials, puts them into his studio for years, and then turns to them intermittently until he figures out the right language for
Indeed,
inventing.
when you listen to my interview this morning with Bernard Jackson, that interview is at 9:05. We speak about El and other great artists. We're talking about the business of art.
Right.
So don't forget, this week on the Business Festival, we're discussing art, music, movies, and all of those things.
I think I must have encountered him during my general knowledge in art class, most likely. Yeah, so it's a name I remember.
You know, Sky is a sculptor.
I didn't know this.
No, Sky is an artist too.
Charlie, no, it's great reading about people like this.
So you need to get a copy of the book. 60 of this is profiling their work.
Who is selling it?
So I got it from
our
Untamed Empire.
Okay,
Untamed Empire. So I will, but it's also on Amazon.
Okay.
You can actually just check on Amazon 60 of Ghana's greatest artists.
Was Professor Caricature named there?
He's the supervisor of one of the authors.
Wow.
He Caricature is a guy who sort of revolutionized art tech. People like Ibrahim Mahama, Akwe Jackson and co. all went through his hands. So he is for me one of the change agents in academia.
Yeah.
I haven't met him personally, but I've heard a lot about him. And one of his proteges co-authored this book.
Wow, that's very interesting. I
The
first heard his name.
what?
60. I forget the title. 60 of Ghana's. Just say 60 artists from Ghana. Something. Akwe Jackson.
Yeah.
60 artists from Ghana. You find it.
Okay.
Yeah, and then of course later in the morning you also hear from the Agri-business forum we did on Friday. Some very key speakers.
Yeah.
Will be giving you something to think about on a holiday.
And I'm still trying to. But it's just recently there was this young boy, from Ghana, 2 years old, who has been celebrated by Guinness Book.
Actually one.
Yeah, that won as the record holder for
the youngest artist.
Those are remarkable stories.
Yeah.
There are people, there are media houses, there are tourists who would want to travel for whatever they are. Thailand, China, US, UK, just to meet this young man. So look, I mean, we do know that children can be sometimes very annoying, right? You are not at home and you have left your crayon or your
they redesigned the walls for
Charlie.
you.
I think we can turn those things into something truly useful. So art, really, I know also that often they say you are Sankwa, so they go and put you in
for visual art students. You actually need to be the brightest to do visual
please
art.
I mean, give us some respect, so.
Are you still an artist?
I am still once an artist, always an artist. But the only thing I need now
is... not producing any works of art.
Oh, I do digital art forms.
It's telling in your outfits too, right?
Yeah.
Your sense of art.
I just have
and
to
your
set
sense
up a
of
studio.
fashion.
All I need is a studio. Get some canvas and then some oil paint.
I'll find a book for you.
You find it for me, sure.
So the business of art is what we are bringing you for On Air series this morning. It's at 9 a.m. We'll bring you some highlights from the Agri-business forum as well over the weekend. Last Friday we had a very interesting conversation. So for those of you who are into agri-business or looking at venturing into agri-business, it's a very important conversation that you need to tune into. I'll be bringing you some highlights of that shortly. Bernardino Koku just joins us in the studio. Richard Alaska, Nathan Kwao is here. We've been having a conversation about the art and how we can, harness that to improve our fortunes as a people. Now, I will tell you about Dedel Spices shortly. Dedel Spices brings you a straightforward flavor that is authentically natural. For tasty meals, our spices are crafted carefully, ensuring every sprinkle best with a genuine taste made right here in Ghana. Dedel Spices isn't just seasoning. Dedel Spices is like a helpful friend in the kitchen for your chop bars, noodles, sellers, restaurants, and food vendors. Dedel Spices enhance any dish. Create tasty meals with Dedel for your customers and loved ones. It's time to elevate your flavors with Dedel Spices. We have various varieties like noodles, all-purpose stew, jollof, curry, and nutmeg powder, which comes in 7G, 30G, and 240G at affordable prices. Dedel Spices made with natural spices. Dedel Spices taste day inside. Dedel Spices are available in markets and shops in your community. For bulk purchase, please call 0531 105 545. This advertisement is FDA approved. Mr. Kwao has some more announcement for you.
Well, it's difficult to keep good news to yourself, especially when it can transform your life and those close to you. SG Ghana went low on interest rates last year, and this year they are even lower. Yes, Yatisubium. Visit any SG Ghana branch near you and speak to their dedicated staff about the amazing Yatisubium loans that are available today. SG Ghana, the future is you. Now you're about to have the world at your fingertips because the wait is finally over. Telecel is here. Now you have everything you want and need: quick and reliable communication, stress-free money transactions via Telecel Cash, transforming your big business ideas into success stories with Telecel Business and more. Telecel, connecting energies, and because you are the reason First Bank Ghana is doing all the things they do, they've put you at the center for the operations, and they've even changed. FBN Bank is now First Bank Ghana, and you need to stay tuned to discover the new and exciting ways the bank is putting you first. First Bank Ghana, you first.
Let's talk about the new order of retirement that is here. Now you can retire on your own terms with a guaranteed monthly income for the rest of your life. Yes, simply invest a lump sum into the Old Mutual Retirement Salary Plan today and start receiving monthly income to enjoy the perfect retirement. It's that easy. The best part is you get to enjoy salary increase 16% in 2023-2024 as well. Call Old Mutual on 050-453-4333 or visit www.oldmutual.com or simply dial *789*01# to request a call. Or Brapa Ahontonkwa. Old Mutual, do great things every day. Did you know that 259 stories are born every minute? Yes, 259 unique stories that matter, including yours. And every experience you have helps to shape your stories into exciting adventures. Your story can shape the world, and it is powerful. Whether you're an individual or a business or a family, no story is too big or too small. We are inspired by all of them, and your story has just begun. We invite you to write yours with us. Your story matters. Absa Bank. So we'll go for a quick break. When we are back, there is more. We're bringing you the Agri-business forum and so much more. Stay with us.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Going up?
Yes, after you. No, you first. No, please, I insist. You first. I wouldn't dare, my friend. You first. Beauty before brains, my friend. You first. The honor would be mine. You first.
Oh, my word. And I hear they were there the whole day. Our employees take our You First philosophy to a whole new level. Get used to a bank that believes in putting you first. FBN Bank is now First Bank Ghana. First Bank Ghana. You first.
I send them. You get them. I get them. I send them.
I get them.
I pay them.
I get them. I take them.
You get them.
I send them.
I send them. You get them. I get them.
I buy them. I take them.
I pay them. I send them.
Telecel Cash.
Experience the ultimate convenience of sending money on Telecel Cash. Sending money from Telecel Cash to Telecel Cash is free. You can also make payments to merchants on all networks. Enjoy best value and total security with Telecel Cash.
Telecel. Connecting energies.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi 97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi 973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi 973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
It's not just a service station. It's a place you get more for every visit. It's not just a place to fill your tank. It's a place to fulfill your cravings. From chicken to chocolate, caramel, or the tasty latte. It's not just a place to service your car. It's the perfect place to wash your ride. It's a place where convenience, love, friendship, joy, and laughter assemble. Because it all starts at Shell. Visit Shell today and enjoy a wide array of services and offers under one roof. It starts at Shell.
Are you a JHS student in Ghana? Are you a wordsmith with a passion for development? Do you have a way with words that captivates and inspires? If so, then join the Literacy Challenge 2024 now. The nationwide search for the most outstanding junior high school students in Ghana is on. Do you think that it could be you who goes home with 10,000 Ghana cedis and a glitzy trophy? Then, in not less than 600 words, write about the role of the youth in shaping the future of Ghana. What changes would you like to see? And how can young people contribute to making them happen? Script must be in your own handwriting. Script must be endorsed by a parent or guardian. Add your full contact details. Deadline, Saturday the 13th of July, 2024. Submit entries to the front desk of Channel 1 TV or Citi FM. Or send it to P.O. Box GP 14123 Accra Central. For inquiries, call 0205 973 973. The Literacy Challenge 2024 is powered by Channel 1 TV, supported by Citi FM, and is sponsored by Ghana National Gas Company, Alive Soap, Fortune Spread, Ribby Biscuits by M4 Foods, and Prospectus Ghana Limited.
Anymore, pop quiz. Are you ready?
Hit me.
Can you give me 3 words that start with omni?
Oh, that's easy. Omnibus, omnipotent, omnibus. The bank with a really nice signboard.
Hey, Radzi, you mean Omnibisic. OMNIBSIC. Omnibisic. Let me hear you say it.
Omnibisic.
Perfect.
Is that an abbreviation?
Not entirely. And it's not just a bank with nice signboards either. Omnibisic Bank is Ghana's fastest growing bank with innovative banking products and headquarters in Atlantic Tower at Airport City, Accra, as well as 40 branches across the country. Omnibisic Bank has the final word on excellent customer service delivery in Ghana.
Plus, they have the coolest signboard.
Yes, they do. And the coolest name, Omnibisic.
Omnibisic Bank. At your service.
Channel 1 TV is live
on DSTV, GoTV, and HD+. On DSTV, find us on channel 363. On GoTV, we're on channel 117. And on HD+, get us on channel 108. On a digital TV, run a new search. But take note that without an antenna, you cannot access channel 1 TV. Channel 1 TV can be accessed on any free-to-air digital box, like the DSTV and HD+ boxes. Channel 1 TV, telling your story, empowering change.
Eid Mubarak. Celebrate this Eid al-Adha with joy, love, and the perfect gift from Samsung. This Eid, we are offering incredible discounts and bundle freebies on selected phones in the A series in shops nationwide. Whether you are connecting with family far away or capturing precious moments from the celebration, we have the perfect phone at the perfect price. From stunning display to high-speed performance, these deals are too good to miss. Whether for yourself or for those you love, this Eid, give the gift of connection and technology. This year, with a change inside, so you can enjoy discount on the Samsung Galaxy A05 and A15, 100 and 150 CDs respectively. This offer is from 5th to 22nd June 2024. Samsung wishes you all Eid Mubarak.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
This is the Citi Breakfast
I was in St. Thomas Aquinas, our English teacher made us believe there is no hope for us visual arts students after school. Like joke, this made us all divert after school. Only about 3% of the class are still into art. This is very unfortunate, isn't it?
It is a truly
divert art. I don't know how we put it down.
I honestly believe that must have been informed by some ignorance as to what exactly
complete ignorance.
The art world is all about. Let me read you something. Now, according to Statista, overall, the total value of transactions in the art market worldwide amounted to $65 billion in 2023. Now, that is even a decrease from nearly 68 billion.
Wow.
And so when you have a market of that size, to the ordinary person who doesn't appreciate art, you'll say, why are you wasting your time on this?
Yeah.
But with one work, you can change the fortunes of an entire family, an entire community, an entire region. You understand? Because we're talking about big transactions happening in this particular space, and very little transactions, when put together, can have transformative effect. So the people who are studying visual art today, look, it is not a death sentence for your future. If a teacher tells you that, he is probably not read the space well enough to make an informed judgment as to what exactly is happening there. When you sit down and you hear the likes of Vincent van Gogh, Leonardo da Vinci, and all of these people, these were artists. These were people who express themselves through the use of paints, canvas, brush, and all kinds of things. And today, they are still remembered as some of the great influencers and makers of history. And their artworks still today are making millions, billions of US dollars long after they are dead and gone. And they are still being researched in the various universities. Books are being written about them. So please, if a teacher tells you that because you are doing visual arts, that's a death sentence for your future, please rebuff that.
Very important.
That.
Very important.
And reject it.
Very
because
important.
I can tell you that if you take it seriously, the likes of Bloody Glover, Professor Bloody Glover, and Anachi, these are globally respected.
Yes.
And they are in the art space.
Yes.
So I take very strong exception to that characterization. Unfortunately, it's something that is repeated across. You know, if they let's deal with the science students first. Let's deal with the other students first. You know, before they will come to the visual arts ones.
But when you look at innovations of, you know, even automobile or anything, art really plays a very critical role.
Graphic designers.
Exactly.
They sit down
very important. Design concepts and innovations and how to make things work. So I think that this, perhaps the problem is that, the mindset has impacted the resource allocation. So how well we resource our visual art studios, even when you go all the way to the university, how poorly equipped the, communication designs, theaters are. All these reflect, our mindset reflects in how we provide resources for these. Because otherwise, if you are even looking at photography, the art of cinematography now, and how much people are raking in elsewhere in other economies, this is not something that we should be joking with at all. Right. The visual arts, the TVET space, these are gold mines, and you hardly have. And this is a field where if you educate yourself properly, you can hardly have a graduate come out of school and not start something.
Yeah, exactly.
You understand? We focus so much on grammar education, which is also good to some point, but people come out of school and they can't do anything with their hands. They can't do anything for themselves.
Not everybody is gifted to do grammar education. There are those who are gifted in terms of the arts, in terms of the creative space, right? I have a lot of it in my family. My dad is a creative. My older brother is a creative. My younger brother is a creative. And I've seen what they do. I look at my older brother, for example. He's played in all kinds of things. Fashion, music videos, TV commercials, whatever. And he also experienced that kind of discrimination. Let me put it that way. I remember when he was going to secondary school, he had 6-1s in his BEC. And the school authority said, but why is a 6-1 student going to read visual arts? My mom said, no way, he will read visual arts. That's what he wants to read.
That's
so
an
he will do
educated
it.
Mother.
So for a term or two, I wonder. But eventually, it played out. He was the best student in his year. And I remember I went to my brother's speech day back in Accra Academy. And then he's won awards as he's gone to. So the point is this. We need to respect that space. You see, because we make it look like the arts don't matter. But the things we enjoy come from the arts. The music is art. The drama is art. Literature is art. Writing is art. Okay? The musicians we enjoy today, they are all creatives. The music videos that give life to the music you hear comes from the mind of a creative.
Thank you.
When you watch the Global Citizen show and you love it, it is from the mind of it didn't come from a scientist's brain. It came from the mind of a creative.
The dance forms. Recently, we were celebrating Afronita. And
yes, they are creatives. Right? We enjoy Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson was a creative, and he's made music that is timeless. And when you watch his music videos, you are blown away. That's the mind of a creative. So we need to start thinking long and hard about the kind of attention we have to give to the creative space. It's the low-hanging fruit. For Ghana, we are blessed to have so much of a unique selling story.
Very good.
That we can build the arts and culture on top of that story and sell to the world. Even we haven't even sold properly. Look at how the world drools over everything that comes from here. They love the music. They love the art. They love the castles. So we need to think about that and start to think a bit more seriously about the kind of education we are giving to the talented creatives we put in secondary school. And stop this. When somebody says they are going to read visual arts, you make them look like they are castaways, like they are not serious. Or we tend to brand visual arts or TVET or home economics as for the
less intelligent people. It's a lie.
There are lots of people in that class who are super talented, but that is what God gave them. Right. God gave them the ability to combine colors, to draw shapes and forms. All we have to give them is education that allows them to read, write, count, and measure. Then once you set them up that way, the rest they will figure out as they go along. We have to make sure that we line the path for them so they are given the best footing so they can succeed. Go to New York. And there are universities all around the world. And there are schools in New York where they teach film. And people are queuing up by the dozens to get in there.
They're rejecting
and they are rejecting people. In other parts of the world, going to film school or art school is a big deal.
Honor,
it's a great honor. It's a great honor. Your son gets to go to design school. You are happy.
On the runway in Paris, doing great things.
But here we tend to look at things in a very strange way.
You don't have to be a doctor or lawyer.
Visual art students are in school. They don't have labs. I saw a video over the weekend of a certain visual arts class elsewhere in Ghana. The teenagers were producing shoes and slippers. That is what we should be doing. We need to amplify it a bit more so that when somebody has the gift of making clothes, by the time they are 15, SS1, SS2, there's a lab where they can experiment and make clothes. So that by the time they get out of school, the skill is almost honed. And then they pick up as they go along. But here, when you say you are a visual artist, we tend to look at someone passe SSE. What? I know people 6, 7, 8 ones, 10 ones, 12 or whatever. And they want to do visual arts because that is where they find their strength. Even when you extend it, it even goes to living how we view some things. Right? For the longest of times, Richard, and all of us around it, for the longest of time, look at how even people perceived journalists. They made it look like if you did journalism, like you tried all other things and failed.
It didn't work.
And so, that was your last resort. But we fail to think that as a country, we need to figure out or devote more attention to the creatives, the people who are talented in the art space, the people who can sing, write, dance, paint, sculpt. We don't think they are important, but in other places, they are like gold. The architects of our time, where do they come from? The architects of our time are also creative people. They may have a more structured bit because, as you can mention, science, but at the heart of it is creativity. The musicians who are making it elsewhere, it's creativity. But why is it that in other spaces, if somebody is, I know people whose children tell them, I want to be a singer. Former Liverpool player Steven Gerrard, his daughter, I watched the documentary, his daughter, he asked her, what do you want to be? He said, I want to be a singer. He didn't throw his hands in there and say, hey, my daughter has lost focus. She's a lost cause. He gave her all the support. I don't know whether she still has the singing ambition, but outside, look at how they treat creatives. Creatives are billionaires. Creatives are respected. And we forget that the things we enjoy come from creative mind. The phones we use today, why do we think that they just got up and they were made? Somebody had to design the phone. The nice car you drive, where do you think it came from? From a creative's mind. Somebody had to think and draw it. And then the people will build it from that drawing.
Yeah, that's right.
The series you watch on Netflix and you are wowed and you are telling your friend, hey, have you watched this series? The series came from a creative's mind.
And there are so many examples.
Yeah,
so many examples back home in Ghana that we need to draw inspiration from. And for me, I'm particularly excited that we have female examples to inspire more girls out there that look. Pure Serum, Sean Abe is one. If you went to M. Sims today, you'd be wowed to see what Mabel Simpson has done for herself. This is someone who studied communications design at Tech, studied visual arts at Wesley Girls Senior High School, and is doing so well for herself now. Over 14 years, built her own space, producing stuff, and also assisting other female entrepreneurs in their space, giving them space to, exhibit their wares and all of that. You go to Arts and Ascent, you see the works of Esther Constance Swanica, you'll be amazed the brains and what they are doing with their hands, and they are teaching more students at their design and technology institute. So I think that we need to do more work
also doing so well in the film industry.
Crazy.
Great thing. Celebrated, around.
So we need to rewire our minds and have an appreciation for the arts, because that's where the gold mine is. There's a quick message here.
Okay.
Yeah.
It'll take some education, really.
There's this message. This one says, before you complete JSS, they bring in. Okay, it says in Ghana, only a few discover their talents at age of 20. Some don't even discover their talent until the age of 40. We prioritize English over practical skills. Before you complete JSS, they bring in doctors, nurses, pilots, bank managers to tell us about their professions, the professions we can pursue and the courses we can take. Ask yourself if they ever bring in professionals in agriculture, construction, mechanics, painting, plumbing, electrical work to your schools when you are about to complete JHS 3. We undervalue practical skills as everyone wants to work in an office. This is why youth unemployment is on the rise. DJ Nature from Italy.
Well, good thing is we try to use our platform to promote all these, and it all matters. Having your children speak good English is important. Acing their math, their physics, their science, all of that is important. The arts are equally important, and we're trying to, as much as possible, feed our listening public with all that they need to know. And we'll be bringing you some conversations on agri-business. Agri-business, for those of you who are looking at agriculture as well. Again, agriculture is not a poor man's job. It's not what you do when you don't have any other option. It's a big economy, big industry, and people are cashing in real big. So
the last time, quickly, I saw I was watching a documentary. I don't remember the name of the artist, but so the person was basically describing how he does his work. He goes to the bushes, will cut some tree branches, and then put paint in them, and then hit it against what do you call a canvas, a huge canvas,
and that's it.
That's all there is. That's it. And then they frame it properly, and that is selling millions of US dollars.
Yes.
Yes. The point we are making is that, look, yes, it is okay to be a lawyer. It is okay to be a doctor. It's okay to be a journalist. It's okay to be, something else. A pilot, whatever, president, politician. But don't put down, the creatives. No. Because these are gold mines in their own right. And history continues to remember them so many centuries after they are gone.
What I will say is that I believe that the people in power and the policymakers and all need to do a lot better to change the look of the creative space.
Very important.
Okay. Now, I think it is because of the prospects of the field. That is why some parents don't encourage their children to go into the creative space. Look, every parent wants their child to do well. That's a fact. So I believe it is the current look of the creative space. If done, if that arena is developed properly, right, and there's a proper structure to it, and things are done well.
The structure, no.
I think that, for example, these days, and I'll give you an example. These days, look at 20 years ago, or at the turn of the millennium, most parents would shake their head at the idea of their child, say, being a pro footballer.
Okay. That I remember they will beat the hell out of
25 years on, or 24 years on, I have parents who are blasting my phone every day, asking me if I know of any football academy they can send their children to. And some of them are prepared to pay top dollar to take their children to a football academy because they've seen that the sports industry is huge, the football industry is huge. So I believe that if our leaders can do a lot more, when you go to the manifesto documents of, say, the NDC and NPP, they talk a lot. Oh, there's a page or two for creative arts. We'll build this. We'll build that. Yeah. You can build all the things.
Theaters in every
How
region
about
and all.
developing that economy? Right? How about structuring this economy so that creatives can earn and earn well?
Nathan, talking about earning and earning well, people are thinking of more revenue or additional revenue, and agribusiness is one of those areas that is big. And here at Citi, we are doing our best. We are actually pushing the conversation, so bring you the right people to talk about all that you need to know in terms of making it in agribusiness. So, last week at the Agri-business Forum, we had Daniel Fahini Akwe. I've made him doctor. We had Daniel Fahini Akwe. He's the chief executive of Agri-Impact Limited. He was talking about post-harvest losses and technologies that can help deal with that, and investments in the value chain. So you learn a thing or two to help you with your agribusiness journey. So take a listen. When we are back, we have some more later on the business of art on the on-air series.
And have oil giving us a GDP of $2 billion. How many people will be involved in generating that $2 billion for us? You may have some people on the sea doing the rig, and you may have some fuel station attendants and the rest. But if you pick a commodity like rice or fruit juice, you have someone who has provided the planting material. A tractor operator must have plowed the land. An input distributor will have supplied an input also as business. Transporters will have transported, generating income. The factory where they are processing the fruit juice, they are also generating income. And they will offer opportunities for accountants, the legal people, the HR people, the food scientists, the security. So once you pick one particular agricultural commodity, the net effect on job creation is wider than any other industry that you can think of. Now, anytime agriculture grows by 1%, industry grows by more than 1.5%. So if we want to sustain our industry, our focus must be on agriculture. Now that brings me to agric. I was asking KK, and we defined it well, why additional income? And he took it and gave a nice understanding to the additional income. And I want people to move away from the fact that I have my things that I am doing. I want to do agric as an additional income. It doesn't work like that. We are not looking for part-timers. So if you want to be a part-timer, these days we call those people the telephone farmers. That's the term. Telephone farmer is in Accra and the activity is somewhere else, and then you will call, have you planted, have you harvested? By the time you get there, every information they give to you totally wrong. So we don't want to breed a lot of telephone farmers. We know that we are in the era of digitization, but sitting in Accra, digitizing your farm at Vapo is not the same as being at Vapo and doing the hands-on. Let me move quickly into a program that we are currently implementing to bring to you some of the opportunities that are there in agribusiness. The MasterCard Foundation has partnered with Agri-Impact to roll out an ambitious and transformative program, which we mentioned, called HAPPY, harnessing agricultural productivity and prosperity for youth, targeting young people between 15 and 35 years, 70% women. The aim of that program is to turn the demand of certain strategic commodities in Ghana into jobs, whilst providing food for us. So if we are importing rice, how do we turn our demand of rice into jobs for young people in Ghana? How do we turn the import of poultry into jobs for young people in Ghana? And how do we turn that of soya and tomato for young people in Ghana? So that's the aim, turning demand of strategic commodities into jobs for young people. By the time we turn them into jobs, we have also provided food for ourselves. So the program is looking at turning these demand into jobs of 326,000 young people in the next 4 years. And in doing that, we should be able to produce about 189,000 tons of food and possibly reduce our food import bill by $200 million every year. So that's the goal of the program. Is it doable? Are you sure? Is it doable? Now, if it is doable, one organization cannot do it alone, and that is an area I want to come into. One of the reasons why we have a lot of agricultural failures in Ghana and in Africa is the poor design of agricultural projects. When you want to build a house, you either get an architect or a draftsman who can build a house for you. If you want someone to drive your car, you look for a driver to drive it for you. But when it comes to agri, anybody thinks that once there is land and there is seed and there is cattle, you can go into agri. No. If you do that, we will add you to the statistics of people who have failed in agri. And I don't think you want to be part of those statistics. Or do you want to? So how do you benefit from the investment or the opportunities in the industry? With the implementation of this program, plus the others that we have done, we have realized that ecosystem coordination and facilitation is critical. Today, as we speak, we went to one of the poultry farms. I'll use that as case study. That farm has invested over 3 million euros. And the factory for processing poultry and the factory has been lying down for the past 3 years. And thieves have started stealing their pumps. We did not bring €1 million to the company. We did not give the company any additional working capital. We provided ecosystem coordination and startup pack for young people who can produce and supply the factory and facilitated markets. Between December, we started the program 1st December. Between 1st December and 30th March, the person has reinvested additional money to bring the factory back, has employed 112 permanent young people from the community, and has supplied over 80,000 beds to one of the food chains in the country. In 3 months. See, what did we provide? We provided starter packs in the form of day-old chicks, feed, vaccine and medication to the young people who will be producing. And we facilitated market, we facilitated all the logistics that he needed. So you are able to catalyze a sector, breaking down inertia in that sector and allowing private sector people to continue to invest. So that's one model that we are using. If you go to the Doma area, it's the same thing. There were people who have abandoned their poultry structures and they are not doing broiler. People have feed mills, they are not operating. Within the period that I'm talking about, people have renovated their poultry houses. There is one company that has started putting up a processing facility. All the equipment were in the boxes. They have put in additional $700,000 within the space I'm talking about, and they have started processing poultry for the local markets. You need a catalyst in the agribusiness space. And mostly when we talk about the value chains, our minds go to the commodities. My role over the 27 years has been service provision. And I have done this in over 30 countries in Africa. And as I speak today, my company is providing the same service to a World Bank project in Jamaica, supporting 75 enterprises there in Jamaica. Service is a gap. And I realized service was a gap when I started national service at the Export Promotion Council. Before then in school, I wanted to go into exports. After school, I engaged a bank to do a business plan for me for cassava chips processing. I didn't even know whether it was profitable or not. I was not getting any information, came to Export Promotion Council, got information. Fortunately for me, when national service postings came, I had been posted to Export Promotion Council. It was there I even got to know that the cassava chip export business was not that profitable and Ghana was not competitive. But I saw that it took a lot of my time to generate and gather the kind of information that I needed. So I told myself that right after national service, I'm off. I'm going to be a service provider. So after national service, I set up my company, which has grown up to what we are seeing today, and we are providing services. So, in the same way, a lot of you know AVV Rice, or some of you might know AVV Rice. This company has been there, and one of the models that we are using to implement Happy program, which all of you can also learn from, is how do we make the best use of public infrastructure, ensure its optimized utilization to the benefit of government, the private sector, the community, and the Ghanaian population in a whole. So there are irrigator lands that government has invested in, but most of them were under 30% utilization. Now we bring in a partner onto this program who has agreement with government and is putting most of the irrigator lands into between 80 and 100% utilization capacity. Yesterday we were at Botanga and they have irrigator land first between December 2023, March 2024. Our partner that we brought onto the program had already produced 600 hectares of rice and has introduced onto the Ghanaian market 3,000 bags of rice. 3 months is doable. When we went to Botanga, they have taken 400 hectares, onboarded young people there, they have produced and they are harvesting. You need that catalyst. And they have moved their yields. KK spoke about yields. They have moved their yields from 2 tons per hectare to 5 tons per hectare. And once you move your yield from 2 tons to 5 tons per hectare, you increase your revenue from 10,000 Ghana cedis per hectare to 25,000 Ghana cedis per hectare. And he spoke about additional money, which is the marginal. So the marginal cost for them to move from 2,000 hectares to 5,000 hectares was about 1,200 Ghana cedis. The marginal increase in revenue was 15,000. And you cannot blame them because they did not have that additional 1,200 Ghana cedis to buy the quality agro input that they need for the entire 1 hectare cultivation. Before they sack me from here, another area I want everyone here to focus, and those who are watching us to focus on, is post-harvest technology, investment in post-harvest technology. We got the opportunity to do a study with Danish Embassy to look at certain commodities, the post-harvest losses, and convert the post-harvest losses into investment opportunities. I was shocked to know that if you put value to the post-harvest loss of yam in Ghana, from production to our market centers to the consumer, the value of post-harvest loss was $500 million. Yam alone. When we did for citrus, it was over $200 million. We put about 4 or 5 commodities together, and the post-harvest loss was $1.2 billion. Already, we are having low yields. The small that we produce we are unable to sell all and preserve all. So you have huge post-harvest investment opportunities in value chains. What we don't want is someone who will wake up today and say, I have $100,000 and I have put up a factory at this place without considering the entire value chain activities. If you are not the one going to operate, you must get people who are feeding into every point of the value chain for your business to become successful. So don't do pocket. Integrate. Don't go and bring investments to operate along all the value chain activities. No, you can pick one, but ensure that you have other people who are feeding into the other points of the value chain. Now, one area that we are also focusing is agri-digital solutions. We have left the digital space for aviation, for finance, for arts and culture, which industry again? If you help me, I'll give you $10. That uses a lot of digital. Education, construction, so you will share. So, but what about agri? How do we deploy digital solutions into agri? And other countries are doing it.
So that was Daniel Fahine Akwe. He is the Group CEO for Agri Impact Limited. Now we'll bring you Mr. Kwesi Koboy's conversation at the Agri-business Forum. Mr. Kwesi Koboy is the CEO of GESO.
Agriculture is not just about production. It's about aggregation. It's about supplying inputs to those who engage in production. It's about warehouse services. It's about processing. So when sometimes people tend to conflate agriculture just as farming, no. It's more than farming. Even within the farming space, there are lots of activities within production. So whether input and so forth. But I want to put this one out there so we all have a clear understanding of it. Now, what it means that All these key activities are areas that you can get onto if you should participate in agricultural value chain. Whether it's production related, whether it's processing related, whether you want to be in the markets, you can find a space within that. Now, the broad headline that Vivian mentioned is that how do you get additional revenue? Well, you have to get revenue first before you get additional revenue. You agree with me? Agriculture is a business. But of course, like any other business, you first want to make sure you have your revenue first, but you can also see where you can make additional revenue through a number of things. Now, additional revenue can be done through a number of things. One is yourself, your efficiency. Two, what other products can you generate from what you're doing? What other service can you generate from what you're doing? So, but if you don't get the basics right, you can't get what it means to make a good return on it, then how do you make additional revenue? The problem in this country is that we tend to look at agriculture as a kind of a social good. And for some of us, it worries us. Agriculture is not a social good. If you want to change the mindset, you want to make it attractive, and some of us believe that it is so, look at it as a business. So whether you are selling, you have a poultry farm behind your house, whether you have a large-scale poultry farm somewhere in your village, the principles you should adhere to is that there should be efficiency. The second point I'd like to raise is, you hear a lot about technology. You know, this is, those, I don't know how many Gen Zs or millennials are here, but technology, everything is about technology. There's a fundamental principle in technology when it applies to agribusiness. It's very simple. Your marginal cost, that is the cost of that technology, if it's greater than the revenue you make, then it's redundant. You don't do it. Every operations has a scale of operations. So what it tells us that it's about efficiency. The more efficient you are, the more money you make. And that's where you make additional revenue. I always tell people that, and even remind me when I'm 10 minutes, that the only sector that was resolute, that turned the profits during the COVID era was agriculture. I mean, I don't know if the gentlemen and ladies here, I don't know how many of you bought new shoes or new trousers or new shirts or new hair wigs. I don't know how many of you did that. I doubt most of you didn't do it. But we're all eating every day. The second point about agribusiness, why it's so critical is that these products are multi-user. And let me explain what I'm saying. Maize. Some of us, we like fanti keke and gar keke. If I'm wrong or correct, some use it for akpele or banku. Maize is a fuel, as ethanol. Maize is a feed for poultry. Every time you pick up your box of Kellogg's, if you want to live like an American in Ghana, you have maize in there. One product, one commodity, different uses. Industrial use, food use. And that in itself is what makes agriculture a very strong, robust sector to be in. I hope you're following me. One product, different uses. If I'm selling a pen, or I'm a major importer of pens in this country, thanks to Citi Channel 1, I have a new pen. I don't use it for writing. I don't write, I don't use. But maize, there's so many things I use maize for. And that is the beauty of it. But we can only capture that beauty of revenue if we treat agribusiness as a serious endeavor. There are times some will say, well, I'm going to retirement, I won't go into farming. That's a dangerous thing to do. And you hear it all the time. There are some who say, well, I did farming and I lost. Because like any other sector, you need the experts to guide you. I mean, if you want to set up anything, whatever business you want to, whether hotel, tourist, or whatever, you need someone to guide you. Kind of rooms, standards, and so forth. Same with agriculture. And the problem is that with all the challenges we face in this country, from where I sit, I guess we're seeing a lot of agribusinesses, private sector, showing resilience and move agribusiness forward. And what strikes me the most is that most of these private businesses are not agriculturists. They've never done agriculture like some of us have done in university. But they see the opportunity in agriculture. And let me end this by saying, and I'm sure during the question and answers we can have more time to do a deep dive. Yes, I'm privileged to have a meeting with, and I can't mention the name of the person, but I'm sure he knows who he is. So I greet him this morning. I won't maybe mention his name. But this is a major importer of broiler meat in the country. As a country, it's a shame. We put over 300,000 metric tons of broiler meat every year as a country. And he decided that this is a time that he would like to do a backward engage and set up a poultry farm. Has cold stores around the country. Very good turnover, very strong company. But he says, I'm seeing opportunity. Why? If you look at where the CD is today, I don't know what the rate is today, you realize that that depreciation also offers opportunity to those of us who want to get into the import substitution business. But then, he wants to have an integrated project where he has control over his maize and everything. And I was excited that you have an importer who on his own has already started investing in poultry houses in a farm to do that. And this has nothing to do with government. It has nothing to do with public sector. It has nothing to do with Kesikobo. It has something to do with someone who sees the opportunity. So, what are my parting words? There's a lot of money to be made in agriculture. Trust me, and you will never lose out. As long as you are efficient and you meet what you're supposed to get in terms of output. So you get 5 tons per hectare for maize. If you get it, trust me, you will lose money. The problem in Ghana is that we'll get 2 tons hectare per maize. Then we want to compensate our lack of yield by raising the price of maize, which then makes it difficult for the poultry feed person to buy maize, to process the poultry feed, and sell someone who wants to do broiler. That's where our problems begin. If we focus on what our yields should be, ladies and gentlemen, trust me, agriculture is a place to be.
So that was the CEO of Gesol, Kwesi Kobo, except of the Agri-business forum that took place last week. We'll go for a quick break. When we are back, we'll bring you that conversation on the business of art. The business of art with Dr. Bernard Akoy Jackson. Bernard's conversation with Dr. Bernard Akoy Jackson is coming up shortly after this break. 97.3 Citi FM. This is the Citi Breakfast Show. Stay with us.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is Citi 97.3.
Edition of our honor series for the Citi Business Festival. This is our third week, and our focus is on the creative arts. Today we're talking to a great friend of ours on the business of art. Dr. Bernard Jackson is an artist, a curator, a writer and educator who dabbles in various art forms. He paints, he sculpts, he dances, he is a poet, and he also does installations. In fact, his body is also part of the art that he does. Doc, great to have you.
Thank you. Yeah, it's true that I do many things, and I hope that we can do justice to the topic today.
Who's an artist?
I mean, this is an interesting question. An artist is generally a creative person. An artist is not one who necessarily has been to art school or has taken formal art training. And so we can also argue that generally everybody or anybody can potentially be an artist. Artists are people who pay special attention to certain details in life. And I think if one, I mean, somebody will even propose that artists are crazy, in the sense that generally things that people will take for granted, artists will pay special attention to it. So we pay attention to detail, we pay attention to innovation, things that are surprising. So generally this is what I would argue.
So since you're on definitions, what's the difference between an artist and an artist?
Oh, okay, an artist, this is just a technical definition.
Okay.
Art falls in several genres. And we have the visual arts, we have oral arts, we have performing arts, particularly music, theater, opera. And so, the word artiste with an E at the end usually refers to people in performing arts, particularly musicians. And then artist then is used to, without an E, it's used to designate people in the visual arts. But generally, we are artists.
So, who is a professional artist? Because your definition suggests that we could all be artists. Because at different points, we appreciate things from an artist's perspective. We even produce artistic things. But if somebody is an artist, tell me who that is. What qualifies one to be so?
So an artist professionally is somebody who has decided, and so there must be the decision, one who has decided to pursue creative processes and techniques and outcomes, but do it on a level that then it's not like the general definition I gave of art. It's not what everybody else can do. So it's something the person is producing essential products. The person is producing or offering services that are there to enhance our lives, are there to bring in certain levels of contemplation and a lot of levels of comfort. But in my own argument, and it's based on what Banksy, a well-known graffiti artist, has said, that art must disturb the comfortable and comfort the disturbed. So, yeah, art is also not, if you take art seriously and professionally, you want to also produce situations and objects that challenge the mundane reading of.
I was going to say some journalists would like to think they also comfort the afflicted and afflict the comfortable, but I think art does it in a much deeper way. So why is art important in a society?
What I said earlier about artists, that we pay particular attention to mundane things, everyday things. I think art is there to draw society's attentions to things that make us who we are. So artists are almost like mirrors. We are reflecting back to the society what we think the society is. And sometimes, even though a lot of people expect art to be beautiful and cute, the artist is really seeing beneath that beauty, within or beneath that surface of beauty are the cracks of society, are the troubling things of society. So these are the things that artists will mirror to us. That is why sometimes the art that we produce is not as beautiful or palatable.
And can be controversial.
Yeah, it can be.
Because generally in growing up, I thought the purpose of art was for appreciation and beauty. Creating things that make people have a certain happiness. But it appears art can also be a commentary. Art can be a critique. Art can even be a challenge
more so.
of norms. Talk to me a bit about that. Do we raise our artists to think like that? Or generally, if you drive around Accra and say, I'm an artist, most of them are just drawing nice things that people will buy.
Yeah.
So talk to me about that, that difference.
So this is you are really on the true essence of art. Yes, it is true that a lot of art is beautiful, but the beauty that artists point out are also things that could be troubling. And quite like journalists, a journalist wants us to. I think Citi used to do this thing where you were even naming potholes. And, that is very ironic.
Cutting cakes to commemorate the ignominy of having them there for 6 months.
So this is something that an artist, like in my mode of practice, would appreciate very much, because my work takes the absurdities of life and then represents them back to society. So when you come to an exhibition of mine, for instance, you're not coming, I do paintings and sculptures and things, but you are not coming there just to look at beautiful things. You are there, and sometimes you are implicated into a certain system of bureaucratic engagement. And so you are there, you are answering questions as if you are going for a test. Out of that, you would be asked to do some activities. It's really something that is very tiring and infuriating, but it is showing us what we have been going through. For instance, you have your own money at the bank, but you have to go and stand in a queue. You have to know so many passwords and passcodes. Those rituals of access are things that I then re-engage and then present as my artwork. So this is the crux of art. It is, yes, to make life beautiful, but it's also to challenge people, to jostle them out of their slumber, literally.
There's a general sense in which people see art as much higher up in the hierarchy of Maslow's needs. So it's like, let's have food, let's have shelter. Then after that, let's think about things like art, which are... But the question is, for a developing country like Ghana, where would you place art? How important is it? Is it one of the things higher up there in the self-actualization dimensions? Or would you call it a basic need of society?
I think theoretically those work, especially for people who study economics. But I think art is a basic need. It's a basic, even right. Expression is important. And that is why, as we were talking earlier, certain types of art could be made accessible to the elite. But the real aim of art is to be available to all people. And so if somebody from the higher classes wants to pay an amount of money for the services or for the product, fair enough. But at the back of most artists' production is that it must be accessible. And that is why then we would work with institutions like museums. Because a museum is a public space. And when the work is there, it can be accessed by anybody. It doesn't have to be bought necessarily. It must be available to all and sundry. And that is why artists in production would want that, people contemplate the work. People would come and debate around the work. Even if the physical work is not available, maybe copies of it or prints of it must be available to the public. This is really the thrust of art. When it enters the realms of luxury and all those things, that's another discussion altogether. But nonetheless, that is also important, isn't it? But the general thrust of art is to be accessible to all.
So, based on what you said, in a certain sense, my topic is even problematic. Because if I say the business of art, it constricts the discussion to just one narrow dimension. Whereas art is a right, is something that all ought to enjoy and must be made to be available and accessible. So when we start talking about the business of art, are we threatening to dilute its essence for a purist like you?
Also not, because one would suggest art must also be sustained, isn't it? And so art is for all, but there is business to it in the sense that, setting of the art, let's say graphic design or product design, things are designed and then they are multiplied and then people can access them. Even some paintings are treated in this way. You go to some of the departmental stores and you'll see that there are certain things on the wall and people buy them and decorate their house with. That's one aspect. And so it gives a certain source of income to somebody who has done that. But when art is produced and it is also in the realms of culture and value accumulation, and it is, let's say, even in a museum, books are made from these artworks. So they are documented, and when the book is made, the book doesn't go for free. It's also, there are several ways of drawing in cash flow from the work. That doesn't have to be the work itself leaving our shores. I give a current example. A colleague of mine, Elizabeth Pra, and myself, we have just recently co-published, or the book is out. We didn't do it recently. It's been 5 years in making. There's a book called New Perspectives, Temporary Art from Ghana. And it showcases the work of 60 Ghanaian artists.
Wow.
So at least all those people's practices are in one document. And I think on Amazon, it goes for £60. That's 75 euros or 80 something dollars. In the Ghana equivalent, like 800 and something cedis. So the artworks have been produced. They may have been sold, they may not have been sold. But at least to sustain the production of another volume, these books will be sold. And so in one way or the other, the art is yielding some money.
What's the title of the book, by the way?
New Perspectives, Contemporary Art from Ghana.
And I can get that on Amazon.
You can get that on Amazon. You can actually also get it physically from here. Untamed Empire is doing the distribution in Ghana.
So it's important to figure out sustainability. Yes. So instead of talking about just business, it's more how do we keep it lasting? Yeah. Money is part of that, but money is not everything. So talk to me about what would make us art sustainable then.
Yeah. So yesterday we have an exhibition ongoing on campus. A colleague of mine, Kofi Eje, and he's showing his ceramic works. And a question like that came up. So he has produced cocoa pods with clay and all those things, and he's showing. Now, that is a beautiful exhibition, but once he has done this work, he also has a home. Storage is important. And so the artist business itself is more than just producing work and selling. For example, he has to think about storage. That is extra infrastructure attached to his own building or his own home. the studio itself is infrastructure. So artists need investment. Artists need help with such things. And so what would an artist, for example, do? Sometimes an artist can invest in production of, let's say, prints. So there are, as I said, there are certain of the arts that lend themselves to easy distribution, easy sales. Maybe a painting will be difficult to sell, but you can have a painting and out of the painting create a print that could easily be sold in terms of editions. It could be sold in, let's say, museum shops. And even further down, it could be made into a cheaper quality print sold in department stores and all those things. These little sources of income then could help the artist cater for their storage, cater for their, shipment and things. Because if you have to show your work elsewhere, even in Ghana, to move we have been doing exhibitions in the Museum of Science and Technology from Kumasi, and we cut all our things with cargo truck and come to Accra. So these need money. In our practice, what we have been doing mostly had been pooling resources from our own pockets. So my colleagues and I, Caricature Sedu, as we mentioned earlier, we would depend on our salaries to make this. That is sustainable to only a small extent. But also in the context of the country we are in, investment does not easily come from the financial institutions to support this type of production. Because the product of our production doesn't readily go.
It's not a fast-moving consumer good.
It's not a consumer good. Let's say it like that. So, and banks or financial institutions want quick returns. They want to see the future of the work before it is done. An artist wants to test limits and things. And you want to break bounds and all those. So, if there were grant facilities available, that then would be something that artists would be interested in. Because loan facilities would be good for maybe the product-oriented, like batik or textile or leather production and things. But if a leather producer is using the leather for artistic interventions, that becomes a challenging thing.
What I find interesting as somebody who studied economics is it's almost as if, and I keep using the word the purist, industrialization and commerce, in fact, industrialization has been based on mass production, which basically is reproducing something at a cheap cost so you can sell for the highest price. It seems to me as if that in itself goes against the very ethos of art. Because of mass, because I feel like creativity and beauty, and it's very personal.
Subjective.
It's very intimate. So if you are, if the whole idea of industrialization is mass production of shoes or clothes or cars, whilst there's a role for art in original design, let's talk a bit about that.
Okay. Yeah, so I think what I said earlier is that, industrialization then can be used for certain things. For example, an artist can produce handmade paper. Yes, then they can use aspects of industrialization to multiplies those paper production processes. But the image that will be registered on the paper then becomes the unique image.
I get it.
Which then could be maybe scanned and then reprinted onto another surface.
Good.
So I think industrialization can be applied to art in specified and specialized ways. The original production would always be there. One example is Elana Tree, who has made so many works in the world. He has developed a system for his practice such that his work can be sold or can be acquired by an institution, but he still retains a great deal of the rights to the work. I think this is where the art world comes in. there's rights, there's copyrights, there's intellectual property and all those things. Yes, certain aspects, for example, work I have done myself has been produced as posters and have been produced as posters and given to people to take away free. But I produced them, so they were like multiples. The actual work itself was my body doing the performance.
Wow.
But
that cannot be reproduced.
Yes, but the photograph of the work can be produced. So that is one. And it was even printed by Dafoco.
Yeah, who's our mate?
Yeah, so it's those aspects are possible. And I think if we look at the practice of somebody like Ibrahim Mahama, he has shown through his special practice that yes, I think there's something I must have said earlier. Art is not a commodity, but if it falls into the right art market, it actually attracts higher quotes. So it's a weird endeavor, really, art.
So the value is not in the number of the items or the works. It's more in the premium people place on the quality.
Yeah, so, and that is why, for example, when you see a very strong artwork, let's say, one of the usual suspects, Mona Lisa, for example. Mona Lisa, in reality, if you see its measurement, it's, A3 paper.
Yes.
Yeah, the Mona Lisa can be argued
It's
to
not
be
that
an
big.
A3. It's a small piece of thing.
Wow.
But it has gathered such provenance from the world. So this is where, if your work gathers such value, cultural value from ownership first of the artist, then it moves into a primary market and then to a secondary market, and then ownership is documented and tabulated. So it is not just, I made a nice painting of Otunfo and then somebody buys it at art center and then it got missing.
It has to be preserved.
The sale has to be even documented. Then let's assume that, let's say, so let's use one of the famous people who come to Ghana for Dirty December. Let's say DiCaprio buys it in an auction. Yeah, so then you see that it was owned by, first it came from the artist studio. It was bought by maybe a dealer. Then it goes into an exhibition. The exhibition gives it another value. Then it appears in maybe a museum exhibition. That's another level of value has been added. So this artwork has been able to almost like sweeping residue, sweeping debt, but this debt
Gathering
is
value.
good value. And so by the time that it's now in, let's say, a Sotheby's auction, it goes with this. It's like blockchain.
This accumulated value.
Yeah.
So then the premium it commands
it's so
will pay
high
for.
Yeah, and so the point also is that if you are not careful as an artist and you sold it off from the onset, then
you lose all the
out
accumulated value.
on this accumulated value. But if you bid your time and you develop your own value, you realize that your value will be, sometimes it doesn't come in monetary terms, but eventually it accumulates. And then now you can demand high prices. Even
So creating value with art is not a sprint.
No, it's not a sprint. It's a marathon. It's even what do you call it? It's a
cross country.
Cross country. You are developing, and that is why it is also advised that younger artists bid their time.
I like that.
You know that big older artists have paid their dues. They have accumulated wealth, and not wealth but worth.
Yes.
Such that when they have wealth now, it is something precious. There has been moments where there have been geniuses. They come out, they shoot up, and then the same market would kill them. Yeah, and so longevity, sustainability, stamina is important.
We've been talking to Bernard Akwe Jackson. Dr. Bernard Akwe Jackson teaches at KNUST. He is an artist. He's a curator. He's a content maker. He's an educator. This is just part one of our two-part series. This part has just dealt with basic definitions, trying to get us to appreciate the basics. When we come back, I'll try and work through the ecosystem that is required for art to thrive in a nation. But also talk to us about some of the art forms
Oh no, it's 9:36 actually. Not yet a quarter. So just gone by, you heard Bernard's conversation with Dr. Bernard Akoy-Jackson talking about the business of art. That is part 1. Don't worry, part 2 will come. I know you're waiting for the rest of the conversation. Part 2 is going to come. For now though, we have friends from Compassion International Ghana and Child Rights International. We're talking about the International Day of the African Child. And joining me in the studio is Rashida Idrissa. She is Manager, Program Support Compassion, and Jennifer Nate is Senior Programs Officer, Child Rights International. Ladies, welcome to the studios.
Thank you, Caleb.
Thank you very much.
How are we doing today?
We are doing great. Yourself?
Fantastic. I'm also good. I'm good. So tell me about Compassion International Ghana. I remember when I used to live at Hacho, back in the day, every time I rode my bicycle, I saw one Compassion signboard somewhere. Are you still at Hacho though?
No.
Okay.
We are now located at Atomic.
Nice.
Seed House, Atomic. Okay.
Tell me about Compassion.
So Compassion International is a Christ-centered, child-focused, and a church-driven organization that works to release children from poverty in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Yes. As explained in my intro, we basically minister to children from underprivileged backgrounds, and we do this in partnership with the church.
Okay.
Yes. So we partner with different denominations to minister to children who are in need. Basically ensuring that these children are given the necessities they need to be able to develop as children and do well, realize their fulfill their potentials in life.
So are you rural Ghana, urban Ghana, or you're basically looking for children who have need? Anywhere they are, you're reaching out to them?
Regardless of where they are, but we do a lot of rural support in a sense that most of the children we support are located in the rural areas. But that's not to say that we don't have participants. We refer to them as participants.
Okay.
The beneficiaries of the organization are referred to as participants. We do have some, even in Accra here.
Right.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of urban poor children as well. Okay. So Child Rights International. Good morning.
Good morning, Caleb.
Welcome, Jennifer.
Thank you.
Child Rights. I know a little about you. You've been in the news for some time. But tell us about Child Rights International.
Okay. Thank you very much, and good morning to your listeners. Child Rights International is an advocacy organization that is committed to promote the rights of children in Ghana.
Right.
And we do that based on many strategies, and we form clubs in schools. We have stakeholders that we work with nationally, at the district level and at the community level. So that is Child Rights International. We envision a society where children are given the opportunity to realize their full potential and develop in a safe and supportive environment. So in a nutshell, that's Child Rights International.
We've seen your work, Mother. Yes, we've seen it. Now, what's happening? Is it tomorrow, today, International Day of the African Child?
Yes. So the Day of the African Child is celebrated 16th June every year.
That's yesterday?
Yes, that was yesterday.
Yesterday was Father's Day.
Yeah.
So I didn't see the child. I saw the father song.
No, we celebrated both.
Okay.
We celebrated
Well,
the
looks
fathers.
like the fathers overshadowed the African Child Day celebration.
Well, that's another conversation. We can have that conversation.
That's fine.
later.
So what's going to happen now?
Yeah, so we are holding a stakeholder Compassion in partnership with Child Rights International.
Okay.
We are holding a stakeholder forum tomorrow to discuss why it is necessary to create a safe school system or build safe school systems in Ghana for children to thrive.
Safe school systems for children to thrive. Wow.
And so the theme for this year's celebration, the locally adapted theme for this year's celebration is building safe school systems in Ghana for lifelong learning.
Building safe
school systems in Ghana for lifelong learning.
Wow.
From commitment to action.
I see.
And so we are bringing together industry players, the Ministry of Education. We can't be talking about schools without the Ministry of Education.
Very important.
Yes. Department of Children, other like-minded organizations, CSOs are coming together. We are bringing together basically subject experts to discuss and assess our Ghanaian schools, our current state, what is working well, what needs to improve to ensure that we are creating the right environment for children to be able to learn and thrive in schools.
I mean, this is a very important topic because sometimes the children return from school and you are not able to tell what's wrong with them. Some of them have physical scars on them, but that's when you are lucky to see. But there are other psychological and emotional things that they probably may be facing in school that you wouldn't know as a parent. So this makes this theme very important and timely, doesn't it?
Yeah. So yes, it's very important and it's timely. So building safe school is a collective responsibility. The government has a role to play, parents has a role to play, community members have a role to play, and children themselves as key stakeholders in education have a role to play. So it's very important that we eradicate all forms of violence against children in our various schools. The violence could be physical, it could be emotional, it could be socially. So these are things that we have to look out for when our children are in school to make sure that they grow up and thrive in a safe and supportive environment.
I like it. So who are some of the speakers, and there are organizational interventions that have been implemented over the years to keep our schools safe? Share some with me.
Okay.
But first, some of the speakers.
Yes. So we would be having Kofi Asari.
Right. Africa Education Watch.
Education
Solid
Watch,
guy.
yes. We'll be having
Solid.
Kofi Asari. We are also expecting a representative from the Ministry of Education to be on the panel as well. We would have our own Brighter Fear from Child Rights International. We would have Florence Senam Ponsa, our senior manager of program support from Compassion, representing the Compassion team on the panel as well.
Right. So highlights of the National Stakeholder Forum, has that happened already? What was said?
That will be tomorrow. That's the event. Tomorrow.
So it's a National Stakeholder Forum on the International Day of the African Child. And the theme, we are trying to look at how to create safer spaces so the children can thrive.
Yes.
Okay, that's nice. Where is this happening? What time? Who can be there?
Okay, it's happening tomorrow at AH Hotel, American House, at 9 o'clock a.m.
Okay.
And we invite all who are able to participate to be there to learn how we can create safe space for children to thrive.
Right. So this is open to the public?
Well, we have invited guests and organizations who we are working with.
So if I'm listening, I'm interested, can I come?
We can have that conversation later.
You have limited space, is that it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. So this is a stakeholder conversation, really and truly. Okay. Thank you so much, Jennifer and Rashida, too. Let's take your final words before you take leave of us, please.
Okay. Thank you very much, Caleb, for having us. And I'll end by saying that creating safe school system for children is a collective responsibility of everybody. And I want to take this opportunity to wish children a happy International Day of the African Child. Thank you very much.
Amazing. Jennifer Nati, Senior Programs Officer, Child Rights International. Regards to Brighter Fear.
You here.
Okay, Rashida too.
Yeah, so the holistic development of a child cannot be possible without their well-being and safety in the school environment contributes a lot to ensuring the well-being of children. If a child is not psychologically fit, is not physically fit, or is not doing well, even spiritually, it can affect their holistic development. That's why this is very important to us as partners, and we are using this medium to encourage all stakeholders. As my colleague said, it's a collective responsibility. We all have a role to play. And so let's all embrace and ensure that children, wherever they find themselves, even at home, are given the right and safe environment to be able to thrive.
You're doing a very important job, and we can't thank you enough. Please keep at it. More grace to your elbows. Rashida to Idrisa as Manager Program Support Compassion International, and then Jennifer Nate, Senior Programs Officer, Child Rights International. Yeah, Child Rights International. Ladies, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having us
here. Our great cement is the highest quality cement on the Ghanaian market. Since the year 2000, Diamond has put smiles on the faces of homeowners, block makers, and supported numerous constructions with a high quality brand that's rated green by the Environmental Protection Agency EPA. Now we have the affordable 32.5 hour grade, which means there is a good deal for everybody. That's great value for your pocket. You deserve the very best. Make Diamond Cement your number one. Choose for all your building materials. Anyone who wishes to buy Diamond Cement should deal with the company directly. Locates Diamond Cement Ghana Limited nationwide with factories in Aplao, Takrady, and Buepe. Call us on 0244 313 368 or 0540 111 978 or 0202 021 175. Diamond Cement, still as hard as a diamond. Picture this, my friend. You're lying in bed after a long day seeking comfort and relaxation, but instead you're met with a mattress that sucks beneath you. That sucks, right? A reminder of shortcuts and compromises. Your comfort and well-being should have never been compromised in the first place. That's why we at Latest Phone prioritize quality above all else. Step into our showrooms and experience the difference for yourself. Our high-quality mattresses and furniture are crafted with your ultimate relaxation in mind. So picture waking up refreshed, rejuvenated, and ready to take on the day. That's the Latest Phone promise. Invest in your well-being. Choose Latest Phone. Otherwise, you did do yourself. Latest Phone, your partner for life. Visit us today and sleep better tonight. Call us on 0302 231 155 or 0302 008499 or visit us online at www.latexfoam.com, latexfoamghana.com. Friends, Eden Heights is a well-planned and secured gated community with access to an ultra-modern sports complex, Olympic-sized swimming pool, football court, basketball, athletic and gym facilities. Eden Heights has available 2, 3 and 4 bedroom apartments and penthouses with the highest grade of finishing for rental and sale. Eden Heights is delicately styled for your comfort and relaxation. We are located behind the West Hills Mall, Wager in Accra. For purchase or rental, please call 050 153 1444 or 050 153 1445. Visit our website on www.edenheights.com.gh for more details. Eden Heights, the height of modern living.
is always at your service. It's Omni Basic Bank. They are the great bank. They've got 24-hour state-of-the-art contact center, and they are Ghana's fastest growing corporate bank, and they won Bank of the Year in 2023. They are always at your service. Call them on 0307 086 000 or 0302 758 555. Omni Basic Bank at your service. And if you are interested in Canadian immigration and learning how to avoid fraud, or you want to know how to detect and avoid fraudulent solicitations for your journey to Canada, the Black Africans RCIC group, in collaboration with Askia Immigration Consulting Services, the two of them have the answers for you. They have a free live webinar on the 22nd of June at 8 p.m. GMT, live on Facebook at BA-RCIC. And the topic is Fraud Awareness Canada Immigration. Come and listen and get more knowledge so you don't fall prey to the devious scams on the internet.
Very
Everyone is
important.
welcome to listen.
Very important. We'll take a quick break. When we're done, Dr. Amos Rutherford Aziri, Legacy Crop Improvement Center founder, would also give us a stake on understanding the agribusiness value chain opportunities for additional revenue. Stay with us.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
If there are people who are supposed to be part of this industry, is to be the best of the best, not the rejected stones. What should we do? Purely investment. Okay. But investment to what? We have to invest in technology. But we are talking about CDA to climate smart and blockbuster varieties, not any other thing. Okay? Good. Infrastructure. Build the right road. Irrigation system. We are being blessed that we have a lot of water around us, water bodies. I come from Angola. Angola is an island. There's a Gulf of Guinea and the Kita Lagoon. Okay. Irrigation is even at the people's bedroom. Irrigation is in our bedroom. If you have gone to Angola before, everywhere in Angola has irrigation. Every people's bedroom has irrigation. Because you know Angola doesn't have a land. So half an acre is what your father gives you. So you have to maximize that. So that's what we use for our Western food production, onion, shallot, and the rest. Right? That system needs to be replicated across this country. Even in that place, that small village. But when I moved, 24 years I live in Koforia, people struggle to put up irrigation 1 acre, including myself. And it's very bad. Okay. Capacity building. Here, we are not talking about putting people in a room where we say we are trained up or something. When we are trained people for seed production in this country, nothing moves. And we are wasting money and time. Because the world is not waiting for us. Right? I mean, the best form of learning is to be an apprentice. Learn for people who are doing the thing. I spent time in the University of Ghana learning what the brand building can do. And I even worked for a seed company before I started trying. So when I graduated this school and said, the donor want to give you money to run a business. I said, yeah, you can do it, but I can guarantee you, you will fail already. If only you where you are looking to. I've done my hand so many times. But you see, the failure is the school fees you pay in the school of success. So because I failed, I learned from that failure and I improved on my activity. That's why I'm sitting where I'm sitting today. So you guys kind of look at me and say, the guy have done well, so I can also do it. I can guarantee you. Right? So we need to provide that training. We also need to make a policy on the local content. Look, let me tell you, when we liberalize the law, a lot of people do a lot of importation. The multinational guys are here, they want to dump their product on us. Okay. Now, once you leave the system like that, it doesn't help anybody. So the state has to be okay. You can kind of do the business here, but it needs to be a local content, like it happened in the oil and gas, the mining industry. If you are multinational, you are doing a business here, 10%, 20% of that, your stake in that business, should be given to a local entity. So that tomorrow, if you pack your bag and go, there's a some level of transfer of knowledge here with us to continue that job. But when you leave it open, people come and become more like a procurement economy. They exploit the value chain. They provide technology to a farmer who doesn't work and nobody cares. Right? Good. Then there should be a need for acquisition, merger, and the rest. Here I see a lot of my members of C company and other enterprises. People want to be a CEO of one CD enterprise than a partner of 1 million enterprise. So you form a company, the company is not doing well, they call him CEO, say, oh, okay. So he doesn't want to partner with nobody. But if you sell equity out, you share with somebody, there will be additional investment, the business will move, and his share level will reduce from 100% to maybe 50%. Then we all benefit now. But we don't want to do that. We are always selfish. If you bring the same policies to the space that we are operating, or I'm talking about, that's where you see we have not, even in 1958, we have produced hybrid seed, but we are now actually pushed forward to become one of the global giants in this continent, right? Good. But there should be a need for fund, public fund equity. I agree with that perfectly, because this is the way you go to the bank to take a facility. They ask you to go and bring your dead mother, which they know very well, but you don't get it. Because your mother is dead and gone a long time ago. You can't get it, right? But if publicly we can put our system together where those funds can be easily accessed by entities that are in the space, because our survival depends on the food, that will work. And that will lead to abundance of food production, household income for the farmers in the value chain will also increase, and everybody benefit. Okay.
Rutherford as the new Legacy Crop Improvement Center founder. As part of our Citi Business Festival Agri-business Forum series. Now, 97.3 Citi FM and Channel 1 TV remain business. That's why if you are an SME owner or an aspiring entrepreneur, this whole month is the month dedicated for you. Throughout the month, get ready for a month-long series of outdoor and on-air business education programs and events in the hashtag Citi Business Festival 2024. Stay connected with us with 97.3 Citi FM and Channel 1 TV as we bring you the Citi Business Festival to your doorsteps. It will be packed with all you need to boost your business skills. In week one, we're focused on tech startups with conversations on innovations, challenges, opportunities, and much more. Week two, we focus on agribusiness and had conversations within the context of entrepreneurship. Week three, we're thinking creative entrepreneurship. We've been dissecting Ghana's creative economy, its character, and untapped potential. Throughout the week, watch out for this. Next week, we'll bring you the general business management for SMEs. We'll examine the Ghanaian terrain and provide the right anecdotes for your business success. So join us, 97.3 Citi FM, as we bring you the on-air series. Interesting topics every Monday to Thursday at 9 a.m. on the Citi Breakfast Show. And don't miss the Citi Business Festival Fora on tech, agribusiness, and creative entrepreneurship. Stay tuned. Let's talk about everything business on a Citi Business Festival happening this June only on 97.3 Citi FM and Channel 1 TV. For more information on the Citi Business Festival, call us on 0205 973 973. The Citi Business Festival 2024 inspired by 97.3 Citi FM and Channel 1 TV in partnership with Absa Bank and is sponsored by MTN, Business Gasol, AMG Fertilizer, and Sano Limited and Agri Impact Limited. Yeah, many thanks Nathan Kwao, Richard Delasky, Bernardino Koku Avre, Sheba, Queen Sheba, Edwin Kwao Kofi. Godwin, Godfred Abeku Odum, the richest man. Thank you all for helping us put the show together, and thank you for joining us. Now it's top of the hour, and Na Shika Caesar is here with the news at 10. Good morning, Na.
Good morning, Kayla.